So I'm gonna tell you a story. There's a woman named Lindsay Micas. She suffered a disease called bipolar 1. Very known for its high suicidality rate, for people who pretty much for the most part are assholes, unforgivable pieces of shit, who spend their life sponging off the government, acting as broken people. But no, Lindsay had a terminal neurodegenerative disease, and instead of like other people take advantage of this. They live for free, they cry, they beg the world to give them free passage for their suffering. No, Lindsay became a hero. Despite her condition, she became a fucking doctor. She became a veterinarian. She saved animals her whole life. She fought for animals. She fought for people. She saved my life. She saved countless other people's lives. And I'm going to tell you this. Lindsay Micas was doomed. She had no hope. This was a condition that eventually was going to take her life, her soul, and her body, and it did. But unlike the rest of people, she didn't let that fucking stop her from being the biggest light in the world. This woman was the biggest beacon of hope in a terrible planet that anyone could imagine. If somebody needed something, she would drive 25 miles at 5 a.m. for them. She'd drive 50, 100 miles for them. Lindsay only helped people. Most people use bipolar 1 as this crutch to be a terrible person, to be the most like, oh, I need this, I need that, steak, give me check, let me take pills, let me suck down pills and survive. She never took a pill, she never tried to survive. All Lindsay did in her 40 years of life was help people. She helped everyone. She helped me. She helped you. She helped every animal that suffered. And eventually, a neurodegenerate disease ate her mind, took away her adrenaline, and destroyed her serotonin and made it impossible for her to be happy or to feel happiness or self-love. But until the end, she fought for me and she fought for you. Lindsay Micas was the greatest person that probably ever lived in the modern era. She had no reason to be as good as she was. She had no reason to give as much as she did. She could have literally ridden this system, our American system. She could have said, I have a disability. I have bipolar 1. I can live for free. She didn't. She became a fucking doctor. And she paid more taxes than any of you. She worked harder than any of you. She tried to help more people than any of you. She was better than all of you. But in the end, when the time came that she couldn't suffer the pain anymore, she ended her own life. She took away the pain that she was suffering after years of serving you. All of you. She gave to me. She gave to all of you. She was the greatest person the world has seen in the past 20 years. She literally could have been anything. She could have been a degenerate. She could have been a monster. She could have been an excuse-making leech that took the system. But no. She survived 40 years with a terminal psychological and physiological condition and gave back to all of you. I wasn't worthy of her. You're not worthy of her. None of us were worthy of Lindsay Micas. She was the love of my life, and I am honored to be the last person to see her alive. I'm honored to be the last person that can claim that she loved. I am honored to have ever stood in her light, and you all don't deserve it. You don't have any right to it, but you know what? She did it for you. And I'm going to tell you, no lies. No fucking lies. I spent my life hiding in the dark. The devil, Satanism, evil, darkness, cruelty. I hid in that because of how I grew up. I never believed that love could exist. And I protected myself by hiding in darkness. When I met her, it was all trees and flowers and the sun. And you know what? It was real. And she taught me that the world is not this terrible, evil place. There is light in it. The problem is, eventually, this condition took away her ability to see that light. It took her from me, and it took her from you. And I'm going to tell you the truth is, Lindsay Micas was the best of us. None of us come close to the purity, honesty, and beauty that she was. That's it. I've lost everything. She was my everything. She was the best person I could have known in any fucking lifetime. And she's better than 90% of the people you ever know in your lifetimes. That's it. Unfortunately, she had a condition and she made a choice. It's like cancer. She could have spent a lifetime on pills, maintaining herself, keeping herself alive, barely maintaining her status. Or she could live her fullest extent, helping the people she could, loving the people she could, spreading the light that she could, and then when the darkness became too much, she tapped out. The bottom line is, there was no choice for her. This was how it was supposed to end. And as heartbroken as I am, and as much as I live every fucking minute wishing it were different, this is how she wanted it to end, and this is what she gave to us. She helped us all. She helped the animals. She helped the people. She ended this on her own terms. She loved everything but herself. And that's it. If you remember Lindsay Micas, remember is the greatest person you ever met, and that's it. Goodbye and good night.